Hello, my name is McCoy Wilson, and today I will be talking with Brooklyn Smith. She is a Director of Application Development at Marian University. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You've had different IT jobs throughout your life, but how is being an IT worker at university different?
Higher education was a big learning curve for myself. I have a lot of knowledge in the financial background, the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, and that does me no good at a higher education job. So it's taken me a while to kind of get the different education fields people could go into, or the different degrees. You can go all the way up to a specialization of 5, which means that you have 5 different specializations along with your major, your minor, that kind of thing. So it's been a bit of a learning curve for sure.
Yeah. Many people don't think of your job as a crucial part of what a university is, but what do you do to ensure that everything is running smoothly at your school?
So we certainly are in the background a lot. So we aren't needed until we're absolutely needed, right? So my group is a tier 2. So we do a lot of the programming to make sure that the door's open. That's a big one. You've seen me on a weekend, any given weekend, have to go in and run a program or write a script that corrects doors not being open for students when they use their badge. It doesn't work. That's a big deal because they live on campus, and parents like to make sure that their kids can get in. So I take that very seriously. I make sure that I put a lot of effort there. That's one thing that I would assume that the children don't know that we're doing for them on an ongoing basis, is making sure that we have those buffers in place that make their life run a little smoother than it would if they did know about them. And it makes them feel safer, and I take a lot of pride in that.
Do you interact with students when working trying to fix a program or let students back into the school?
Yeah, so I don't work with students for issues. We are tier 2. So if I'm talking to a student or a parent, there's probably a fairly large issue, and in which case I'm happy to take that call because I can typically calm down those situations pretty well. But I do go over to the help desk and help them a lot as much as I can. They teach me a lot. All of my skills are self-taught. I've taught myself everything that I know as far as programming, languages. As far as IT is concerned, teaching yourself is pretty common nowadays. Everything you need to know really is out on the internet. So I get to support all of the students from the background. And not necessarily in person, but I interact with them all day, every day, passing by them in the hallway. I mean, we're an open campus, so.
You said you teach yourself a lot, and a lot of stuff is on the internet, but was there someone that taught you how to do this stuff, or is there something like that?
So I've had a couple mentors in my life, but probably my first mentor was my dad. He had me out in the garage, hands-on, holding the flashlight, changing my own brakes, oil. I remember in this very parking lot, I had to change my oil. My car would not work. At the time, I didn't know much about it, but my dad came and helped me get my car back running. I had ran the oil out of my car, and at the time I didn't realize how the impact. So he taught me to persevere and keep working through problems. And those things that were mechanical on cars, me being a female, it wasn't innate for somebody to come and be like, hey, let me teach you this. But my dad always took great pride in teaching me those things that maybe weren't specific to young girls. And then in programming, I had someone take me underneath her wing. I'm a cosmetologist by trade. I have my cosmetology license. I do hair. That's what I came into my adulthood thinking I was doing. But I had somebody see something in me when I worked at a bank, and she was the director of business intelligence, and she taught me my first SQL query. So she pushed me and pushed me and pushed me because she knew that I could be where I'm at right now, and I still talk to her to this day to keep those networking relationships open.
What would you say has been the hardest thing starting your job at Marian?
I think trying to work myself up. Higher education, I said, was a learning curve. I knew a ton about financial industry, but I think it's taken me a while to get the knowledge that I need to actually do my job well. Because one thing that I always say is if you know the data that is supposed to be there, you can kind of understand what it's doing. I haven't known the data because I don't understand the language of higher education, or I didn't. But now I'm getting there. I know a lot about higher education now, and it's a really fun industry. So I think it's been a really fun ride coming into higher education and being in a position that I'm in. I think pushing myself will keep me on the cutting edge of technology, which is so important because it's changing every day.
I know some people text you or call you or email you about some things that are easy to fix or something like that. What's a interesting scenario you had?
Well, so we get a lot of those. One of the cliches is that there are no stupid questions, and that's debatable, I guess. I take great pride in helping the people who have small issues, because those are typically the people who, they know a lot about what they do. I know a lot about what I do. And if I can help them or bring them to the next part of what they can do, I'm happy to do it. There's a woman that has me map her network drive almost every other week, and that is a very simple task. I've written her procedures. I think she might just like talking to me. So I go down there, I help her with it, I don't grumble, I have gained this relationship with her, and she's been an ally for other projects that we've had. And I think treating people, regardless of what their question is, to their understanding, not to what you think that they should know, is a great skill, and I'm still practicing every day.
I know your work can be a lot sometimes, but like, does managing your work between work and family sometimes difficult?
Yeah, absolutely. My job right now is pretty flexible. I'm not sure I could ever go back to an old 9 to 5. I leave work now like at 3:30 every day. Now, I work on a lot of weekends. I have a lot of responsibility for upgrading systems, servers. I do a lot of server work, upgrades on those. Maybe it's spinning up a new server, a new environment, a new database. That all has to be done when the systems are quiet. So managing that when you have 3 children is very difficult because a lot of that stuff has to be done on evenings and weekends.
I've seen you go on some things with people you work with. What are some of your favorite activities you've done with your colleagues?
So Marian's really affiliated with the Speedway. Mm-hmm. In fact, anytime that the cars are running on the track, you can hear it from my office, which is pretty cool because it's a very distinct sound. But I have been able to go to the track in May and represent Marian. That's a fun one. We have a lot of after-hour events on the campus because we have a beautiful campus. But the camaraderie and everything that you get to do on campus and then around our community from the campus has been really eye-opening. The community around campus is very different than campus. You are on campus, it's like a whole different world. But I think one of my favorite things is interacting with the Catholic part of Marian, the sisters who come in and they do a happy hour for us, or they put together a function where they get to kind of celebrate us and they teach us a lot about the heritage of Marian. So I like that kind of thing a lot.
What have you done to make your job easier for incoming people you're working with?
I think I try to practice patience. I hire people who are smarter than I am, and some days that's easier than others. I make sure that they have the skills beyond what I could possibly have, because I think it's important for you to have people around you that are smarter than you and that can get things done that maybe you can't, because having a bunch of me is not going to be a well-rounded department. So being in a situation where I can do that and continue to well-round my team so that they can help bring on somebody that might be new, putting those processes in place are really important to me.
What is some advice you would have for people wanting to get into this industry?
I think keep trying. I've been told a lot of times that I don't fit a lot of molds, that I don't really fit into this industry. I'm used a lot in my current role in my department as a liaison to the rest of the university because of my personality, if you will. All that to be said, don't let somebody put you in a box. If you want to do something, keep doing it, keep trying, and just persevere. Just keep trying it until you get it, regardless of what somebody else might say.
Well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for taking your time out of the day to talk to me, and I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. You too.